different agents in the business conduct their business the way that they want to do them, and I see a lot of different things in this industry. And one thing that I do see that probably you see as well is agents that offer discounted commission or discounted services. And I'm not gonna lie, I've actually tried this before and I've done it, and I have strict reasons why now I will never discount my commission again. And it doesn't have anything to do with me not wanting to be a nice person or helping somebody out, but I've learned that sometimes people, they don't really have your best interests at heart, and sometimes it's strictly about what you can do for them and not necessarily what they're willing to do for you. And so in this video, what I want to do is I want to tell y'all a story. I want to tell you the story about when I discounted my commission and what happened with that to make me today never discount my commission anymore. And so stay tuned. So y'all, there were these clients, and actually a team member of mine introduced me to these clients. So they were going out prospecting for listings, and this was a friend of theirs, and everything sounded great. I went and met with the clients, and upon that first listing appointment meeting, they said that they had 2 properties that they wanted to sell. I was like, okay, great. So this is gonna be 2 listings, and we're gonna get it done. We're gonna get them knocked out, and everybody will be happy, because it was kind of a stressful situation to where they needed to sell the properties. I was confident that we can get them done pretty quickly, and so I took on the listings and got to the first listing. It was a total mess. Oh my gosh, like I didn't know what I was walking into, because we actually didn't meet at the home, and we took care of all the documentation before we even went to the properties. So when I actually got to the properties, it was a horrible situation. They were pretty much falling apart, and so a lot of the confidence that I had before, it kind of went down the drain. But I wasn't going to turn down the business. I had already taken it on, and so it was just time to move forward. And I now thought that these properties were going to be a little bit more difficult to sell. Ended up getting everything that I do for listings done, so as much as I can get cleaned up, photos, all that good stuff. And I ended up sending them out to my investor clients, and one of the investors picked up one of them pretty quickly, so we got it under contract. Y'all, during this whole contract period, there were so many things that came up, and I thought we were gonna lose the deal, but kept moving forward, and it ended up closing, but not without difficulty. So the price point that the home was at, the sellers, they were gonna have to come out with money, and of course I was representing the sellers, and unfortunately they didn't have any money to put towards it. And so we ended up getting the numbers very, very close, and there was just a little bit of a difference between what they needed to close and where we were kind of at. So guess what I did? I thought in my mind, I said, hey, we are doing 2 properties with you. I have 2 homes on the market with you, and I will give up a little bit of my commission to help this sale go through, since we have the other property. The client, they knew the whole time what I was doing, because we actually needed to do that in order to get both sales done, and so I was willing to volunteer that. They agreed, and I agreed, and we ended up selling the first property. So I gave up some of my commission for that property to make that sale happen. So we had the other property on the market probably for about a week later after we closed, and that client calls and says, okay, we don't want to sell the other property anymore. We want to keep it. And I was like, what? Because we had agreed that I was giving up some of my commission on this property because we still had the other property to sell, and that one, it should have been a smooth sale and all that kind of stuff, and they just up and decided that they didn't want to sell anymore. So not only had I spent a bunch of money on both properties, just doing all the pre-listing stuff, and then gave up some of my commission so that the first property could go through with the sale, but you're telling me that you don't want to sell anymore. And so it's like, at the end of the day, I'm the one that's in a negative situation and I'm out of money, and you have gotten one property sold, one property off your books, and now you want to keep the other property and rent it out. You know, when they told this to me, I didn't think that they were doing it, you know, out of like harm to me or trying to, or malice to me or anything like that. But when I kind of told them the situation of what we agreed on and why I did what I did because of this other property, they were just kind of like, oh well, you know, like we just had a change of heart, and didn't offer to pay anything, didn't offer to do anything, and I was just out at the end of the day. You know, and that put a really bad taste in my mouth about the whole discounting commission thing. But then, you know, even me thinking the way that I do business, I don't need to discount my commission anyway. You know, I provide enough value in every transaction that I do, and I put my heart and soul into the work. I do what needs to get done. I go above and beyond more than a lot of other agents do. And so no, like I don't ever need to discount my commission, no matter what it is. You know, it did teach me some lessons, you know, and I'm glad that I learned those lessons early on. It taught me just to do a little bit more investigating before I take on listings and before I agree to anything like that. And, you know, to ask the right questions, do the right things to make sure that this doesn't happen to me again. But I know that my services are way more valuable to any client than a discounted broker. You know, I don't work at a discounted brokerage. I have no desire to discount my commission. I work hard for my money, and I've learned some lessons to the point where I'm not discounting my commission anymore. It's just simple as that, you know. And I encourage you, as long as you are providing enough value, there's nothing that you need to discount. You know, we as real estate agents, our careers are 100% commission anyway. And so, you know, any money that we're giving up, it's cutting into our bottom line. It's cutting into our tax money, our advertising budgets, our cost of running a team and getting listings and servicing the listings. You know, all that stuff adds up, and it's not fair to us at the end of the day that we have to do the job that we were contracted to do, and we're giving up our, it's like paying the other people for us to do our job. You know, it just doesn't sit right with me, nor does it make sense. And so I hope that next time when you think about maybe discounting your commission or doing your services for a flat fee or not getting paid what you're worth, just think about like what could happen and take this story into consideration, and maybe you might choose to do a different thing. You are worth more, and you need to let your work show that. And so I'm Chasten J. Miles. I hope this video has let you in a little bit and has been a little bit helpful to you. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, and I would love to keep this conversation going in the comments. So leave me a comment below, and please subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed yet. I release videos every Tuesday and Thursday like this, and I would love to have you part of my Chasten J. Miles family. So until next week, have a great day.